What is up, gamers, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So today we are continuing our career series, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be trying to go to Duna, but with a little twist. We're going to do it Apollo style. So getting straight into it, first we're designing our lander. Pretty simplistic design, and it's going to be holding 2 Kerbals. I'm also putting a probe core because we are actually going to be taking 3 Kerbals, which they will go in a Mark III command pod. And the idea is that we will bring an engineer and scientist down to Duna, and the probe core can do all the piloting for us, and we'll have one Kerbal stay back in orbit in case anything goes wrong. Now for the name of this craft, I went with the Epictetus, naming it after the famous Greek Stoic philosopher. You know, I like to act like I make really prolific names for my spacecrafts, but really it's just the first name that came to my mind. Anyways, so I'm radially attaching some of these little small fuel tanks so I can squeeze out a little bit more delta V. Obviously I can't get too big because I'm pretty limited by my size. Obviously I have to put a Mark III command pod above all of this, so to make this not look really weird, we've got to keep it pretty slim. And of course we will be using a nuclear engine. Now we've had this unlocked for a couple episodes now. Still using that same strategy of using 4 of those liquid fuel tanks and then moving them into each other. I really wish there were larger sizes for these, but as far as I know there isn't. And yeah, it actually works out pretty good. I just have to make sure that I auto strut like literally everything because they're connected to those girder segments and those like to bend a lot. Yeah, you know, the more that I think about it, I don't really understand why just every part that you place isn't automatically auto-strutted. But anyways, I'm using a skiff for our circularization. I know you'll probably see that I had an engine plate with, I think it was 5 Terriers, but I decided against that. I just needed a little bit more thrust, and then we're using a twin bore for our main engine with some thumpers and liquid fuel tanks attached to that. This rocket did come out to be kind of, you know, noodly. Not much I could really do there. I really don't have... I have the big fuel tanks unlocked, but I don't quite yet have all, like, the big engines and the big engine plates. I really cannot wait until we get vectors, because those are by far my favorite engines. Really small, and they're kind of similar to, I think, what the SpaceX, the boosters use. But yeah, there you can see me changing out the engine. I changed my mind. I just don't think it would have had enough thrust. But I think the grand total for this craft was only, I think it was little under 100,000, so for a Duna mission, from there and back, that is very good, I think. Anyways, just adding on our launch clamps here, just doing some final strutting up, and we were ready for launch. Now, this thing is one of my favorite rockets I've ever made in this game, you know, cosmetically, and just the fact that it is an Apollo-style rocket, which I've done a few times, but not very often. Now, I have a question for you guys, and by the way, I really appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting, and all the advice. It's been very helpful. Whenever I separate my stages, I'm having a problem with my engines, like, cutting off for a second, and I'm pretty sure that it is a computer side issue, because I think whenever you separate stages, the game has to reload the craft and reload all of the physics. That's just my theory, because I used to not have this problem. You know, it could be some type of mod issue. But yeah, just let me know if you guys have ever had that happen before. Yeah, and as you are about to see, we're going to extend our solar panels. Now, I forgot to do my action groups again, so I have to manually extend everything. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool with all those struts on there. I wish they had an extra, like, oh yes, I did make sure to put a probe core on this and deorbit it because I wanted to keep it somewhat realistic, you know, just a little bit, because yeah, space trash is a not very good thing in real life, as it happens. It's actually becoming a huge problem in real life from what I've heard. And then we got to attach this here. Now, slight problem, I forgot to, you know, past time when we were on ground for a Duna encounter, so we have to wait in orbit for like almost a full year to get a good Duna transfer. Yeah, and there you can see me doing my burn. The burn estimated time was like 6 minutes, or I don't know, it was a really long time. Thank God for persistent thrust, even though it is very glitchy sometimes. And yeah, with a very inefficient burn, because I didn't want to wait a ridiculous amount of time, which I still did anyway, because as you can see in the top left, almost 2 years have gone by since this mission has started. But thankfully, Kerbals are built different. They're pretty much immortal in a sense. I mean, they kind of break all the laws of thermodynamics. They literally can survive in the vacuum of space for eternity. They don't need any food or sustenance, and they can survive pretty much infinite G-forces. Subtle foreshadowing there. Anyways, I was getting ready to land here. I'm just using a vacuum engine, your typical Terrier. Thankfully, Duna's atmosphere is thin enough that you don't really need a great, really powerful engine by any means. And I'm using just 2 drogue chutes here, and then we'll just use our engine to fully land us. Now, I had to redo this a couple times because I was having a problem with my landing legs, or really it was my whole craft was like sliding after I touched down. And, you'll see here that even still, I touched down on like a sloped surface, and this time, for whatever reason, I did not slide. I'll have to put in a video of what happened there. Anyways, it was a somewhat smooth experience after that. And yeah, we're gonna do quite a bit of science. I brought more of this deployable science. Unfortunately, I don't think I brought the right stuff because I wasn't able to get any science from it quite yet, but I do plan on doing a surface base. And then I was having a little problem with, my Kerbals getting launched off as soon as they EVA'd. I think it was because I put the ladder too close to the hatch, so the physics kind of freaked out. There's the flag, glory to the motherland. And it happened again, and then I broke a solar panel, but that's why we have multiple, right? There was my deployable science, and yeah, I don't think I brought the right modules. I turned off the game for the day, then I reloaded my save, and then I came back to this happening. Yeah, I swear this stuff only happens to me. I mean, I just get these Kraken attacks all the time, man. Very, very annoying, but we're just gonna roll with the punches, okay? And yet again, I had to manage to get upright. I won't, for full transparency again, this took me like probably 8 reloads, but that's the game's fault, not mine. I mean, this is part of the reason why I will never be able to play this game without quick saves or reverting flights, because there's just so much glitches. And then and now with just barely any fuel left in our tank, we are going to rendezvous with our craft. This was probably my best rendezvous that I've done. It only took me probably 3 or 4 minutes, so that was pretty nice. Still, I'm steadily improving at this game, but really right now what my main struggle is transfer windows. It's actually probably a very easy thing to learn. I just haven't bothered to watch a YouTube video on it. And getting back to the topic of low fuel, my main craft with the nuclear engine, that was also very low on fuel, so it's going to be pretty hard to get back to Kerbin. Yeah, and we're going to have to do a suicide re-entry into Kerbin because I just did not have enough fuel. So, going back and docking here. Now, kind of a funny thing happened here. I forgot that I took off my RCS packs off of my Kerbals, because I needed room for the deployable science. So I had, I EVA'd, the ladder glitched again, and my Kerbal got flung, so I had to save him. And I just managed to do it by shoving him around. Yeah, thankfully I did not have to lose a Kerbal today. It would be all funny and for the memes, but Kerbals are stupidly expensive to hire in career mode for whatever reason. I think it depends on how many you have, and that's, that goes off of how much they cost. But anyways, I needed to deorbit my lander here because I needed to shut off as much weight. I didn't bother landing it or anything, I just, you know, exploded it because I don't really need it. And then we could head back to Kerbin with very, very low amounts of fuel and a lot more time. I had this glitch with my engine just rapidly turning off and back on again. That one I'm sure was persistent thrust. And then yeah, as you can see, I was saying suicide reentry. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. And I think in total we had about 3 years of time in space. So not too crazy. It wasn't like 5 years. I've done some pretty stupid stuff, especially with my old series when I just didn't know how to do transfer windows at all. I would use Mk2 and spend like 10 plus years in space. I'm gonna try to avoid that in this series. And then we're re-entering at about 5,500 meters a second. And yeah, there's my stage, other stage blown up. That was really cool how it was blown up and I flew past it like that. I love Firefly so much. Such a great mod. Yeah, these Kerbals are totally unbothered by these unbelievable G-forces that they're experiencing, you know, and they're smiling while they're doing it, so I've got a lot of respect. They are the ultimate species. I was honestly starting to get a little sketched out if I was gonna be able to deploy my parachutes at a reasonable time because we were flying so fast. I'm sure you need to be going some pretty insane speeds to not be able to deploy your parachutes in time. But it was a successful splashdown. 2,300, almost 2,400 science. We got 1.2 million Kerbal bucks. And we also got like all of our dudes to level 3. Very huge progress made in this episode. And yeah, the glorious leader decided to give us extra funding to expand the KSC. You know, in all seriousness, it's just a mod called KSC Extended. That's pretty much all visual. It doesn't really add much, but I think it just looks really cool. You know me, I love my mods, but that's about all the time I got for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to hit like. Sorry if this commentary was not the best. I'm pretty low on sleep right now, and yeah, just can't sleep. And as always, guys, make sure you have a good one, and goodbye.